Get your soul right.
Good morning, good noon, good evening, whatever time and place you're listening to us from, straight from the spooky realm of 909. It's Mark, Andre, myself, Isaiah, and together, that's hip-hop.
Straight from the emergency ward. Cadavers.
You terrified me with that intro, man.
So there's nothing better than to talk about this MC for the occasion. Today, well, first of all, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, by the way.
Or we'll kill you. We'll kill you.
Today, we're talking about an artist that is very near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah.
An underground living legend. Necro. Spit on your corpse.
Blade near and dear to your heart.
Also known as the Sexorcist.
A note from a family member.
For those who don't know, Necro is a rapper, record producer, filmmaker, known for his distinct and controversial style in the hip hop genre. He was born in Brooklyn. He's known for his aggressive and explicit lyrics, and we'll show you that shortly. But it's dark, it's gritty. Necro is one of those cats that I found him and discovered him through Napster and through iMesh and LimeWire, those things. And I first got a glimpse of his production as a beat maker. I F with Necro. Like, the dude, as far as a producer or beat maker, is in my top 5 beat makers of all time. Like, he, in my opinion, is sick at beats. Yeah. But it goes really well with his style as a rapper. He is willing to tackle those taboo subjects in this music, and he really delves into violence, gore, horror, and it led many to categorize his style as horrorcore.
Or AKA death rap.
Yeah, he calls it death rap. His lyrics can be graphic, unapologetic, pushing the boundaries of what is typically acceptable in the mainstream. He's very skilled, though. Lyrically, like, that's one of the things I picked up on is, like, after, getting your taste of Necro's gore and everything, putting that aside.
Getting your taste of it.
Getting the taste of blood. I mean, his lyrics.
The overflow of blood.
Hemoglobin ocean.
Right. Hemoglobin oceans. Yeah.
Putting that aside, you do recognize there is skill there. And he is skilled as a lyricist.
He is.
Despite, how dark it might get. It kind of reminds me of the Dave Chappelle skit where I don't know if he's passing weed over to, or he's trying to sell weed, and they kept escalating the name of the weed, and he got finally to the point where he's like, it's death. It's death. It's just death. Like, that's the needle that we pushed hip hop to right now, is we're approaching the death.
Just
part.
to straight death. Yeah. I got you. But Necro being technically proficient is why I'm laughing is because he's technically proficient.
Yeah.
So it's like, beat wise and skill wise, writing wise, it's worth listening to. Like, I could really tell y'all, like, I learned a lot from Necro. That sounds horrible. It is really because of his technical prowess, man. He's very, very talented with the pen. And it is, subject matter. I think at the time when I first heard him, it was kind of juvenile to me. So every time I hear him, even though the subject matter is dead serious, and Necro doesn't play around because he has not rapped, he has not changed his style.
Yeah.
So, it's just something about his style for him to be so skilled. It's really interesting. It's like another version of M, know. And I'm not calling him an Eminem style rapper, but I'm just saying it reminds me of the kind of the humor of Eminem,
Yeah.
What he says can be funny, So yeah. And then, we were doing comedy at the time, so it's just really funny music if you think of it that way. Unintentionally funny. It hits with no darkness, like just the oversaturation of murder. Right. Who would make this album? Yeah. It would be Necro. So that it's just something different, man. He's a legend still. He's still a legend.
In a sense, he kind of reminds me of like Cannabis in the way where he over bombards you with the gore, whereas Cannabis would over bombard you with just, that lyricism. His is lyricism too, but there's just that death, gore. It's just constant throughout the album.
Yeah, it's extremism within the genre.
Yeah.
And if you had
super extreme.
Yeah.
if you had his lyrical skill placed into someplace else, it would have been phenomenal. But at the time, his style would have been washed in with a lot of people coming out of Queens, and he'd have a tough shot because you're talking about Mobb Deep around his time. You're talking about Nas around his time. He actually predates those gentlemen. There's actually the No Jumper podcast interview that he did about a year ago where he states that he actually opened for Black Moon at 15. Yeah. And so if he actually like opening up and doing acts for Black Moon, which actually do predate Wu-Tang Clan too, to a certain level.
Yeah.
This using, still being part of like this horror rap and even having that, that ability at such a young age being recognized, there's attributes, there's several attributes to that, but he decided to go with street rap, but a different side of it. Yeah, we do talk about the murders. There's rappers that do talk about the homicides.
Yeah.
But how detailed are they with the homicide? No, he found a niche to where he's always going to be that guy, and people are always going to recognize that he is the man that leads the charge, the man on the throne, the man that actually goes out during the battle, not when the battle's just done.
Yeah.
He's that type of dude.
Yeah.
And it was certainly a pleasure hearing him as a kid because it's like, wow, the lyrical skill is apparent. However, it is something to where, like in the sense of where Cannabis can be overwhelming for some people intellectually, him on this side makes me feel really uneasy at times.
Yeah, uncomfortable.
But I like how you mentioned Cannabis, right? Because he does have the technical output of a Cannabis. He rhymes so potently, right? He does the 4 to 7 syllable rhymes. He does big rhymes, bro, like serious. Yeah. So when I'm listening to him, it's just like the technical proficiency is going to be what I'm listening to. But the subject matter, as dark as it is, it almost kind of turns on itself because of how how hard he's thought of all this. Everything is so thorough, man. It doesn't seem like some psychopath that just hops in and kills people.
He tells you how to get rid of a body.
Right. And it's so thorough that it's like nerdy. He's nerdy about death. Yeah. And I think it's interesting in that regard.
Yeah.
He's just nerdy about it. As dark and gangster as this shit sounds to some people, to me, it sounds nerdy. It's like he's a nerd of death. He loves death, and he found 1,000 ways to talk about killing somebody.
Yeah.
Describing that bags of flesh. Yeah, he must watch hundreds of horror movies. I don't know what this fucker does. Like,
he would describe it as pornographic, very violent. He likes just... like it's very heavy metal-esque in hip hop.
I like that. Yeah.
He has that in his background. He was a big fan of metal, hip hop, or metal, I'm sorry. And he found ways to incorporate that into his music, which I thought was pretty dope. I was asking Mark, who could we even compare him to in this genre of like death rap? Is there another rapper that talks about death like that?
Brother Lynch Hung.
Okay.
Well, yeah, his homies too, like Ill Bill,
true.
His brother actually.
The Circle of Tyrants.
Even the earliest person that I'd want to think is Ice-T.
Okay.
First out.
Okay. His brother, you mentioned his brother. So his
sense.
brother's nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a rapper too.
Yeah.
And that completely I was
nonfiction,
just like
Ill Bill,
that out.
all those guys.
Some
His
people would
little
pocket
yeah.
Tech 9 and into that area, even though he's not talking entirely about death, but he does get there.
What about Eminem? Because Eminem kind of goes.
Eminem is horrorcore for sure. Early Eminem definitely horrorcore. Actually, no. Relapse is horrorcore album.
I think people would look at it now as that, but during the time when he's actually with his first 2 releases, Eminem wasn't.
He doesn't go this dark.
It's
Yeah,
like
he doesn't.
people are gonna retroactively say, "Whoa, there's early seedlings of his horrorcore raps." Like someone's gonna look at it with a monocle and think about it, but it wasn't. And I still don't think it is, because you could still find the comical sense of Eminem. Homeboy's like literally the white rapper with bleached blonde hair. It's dude, there's nothing. It's satire. Looking at Necro, him talking about murder, it looks like he has a couple cases.
He looks like he's really doing this shit.
Look at this
Look at
album
this
cover.
psychopath. Look at this fucking maniac. He looks fucking crazy. He looks out of his fucking mind.
True.
But man, the lyrical skill's so there.
Yeah.
And if his big what if to me, because every MC has this what if in every different way, whether it's an album release or like, what if he didn't get arrested? What if? His what if to me is that what if he actually took that lyrical style to a different direction and actually tried to compete with these Nas's, these Mobb Deeps, because he's coming out of Queens.
Yeah.
And it was a tough audience during that time,
it is kind of smart the route he did take, because he became the king of this.
Yeah, he's like identified as this sound.
Right.
If you talk about death rap, dark rap, horrorcore rap, Necro will be put in there. But when it comes to like the idea that he could take himself seriously and actually rap about some other shit, that would have been nice, but it probably wouldn't fit him.
Yeah.
It would actually kind of be so out of the box that he's designed.
And I think if Eminem, if he did that same trajectory, Eminem shows up and it just totally null and voids him.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we're not going to get into it on this podcast, but there was like Eminem, skills there, but getting the stamp by Dre,
he casts a large shadow.
Plus a lot of arrangements behind the scenes. He was purposefully propelled into the mainstream. But we're not going to talk about it on this podcast, but this is his thing.
But I mean, that makes sense, because you picture like when Eminem came out, he used like his battle rap style against other like white artists. And in like, that time it was a lot of the boy bands, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, like who else? Al Green.
Al Green.
Talking about Tom Green?
Tom Green, excuse me.
Al Green?
Yeah,
Al Green.
I can see where he gets the confusion.
But list of people.
But so you could kind of see maybe that being a strategy, maybe a genius strategy, even
the perfect anti to what was going on at the time.
Right, and the perfect suited person would be
like
white boy in this image. You know what I mean?
It's like it was like a wrestling storyline. We're gonna pull up the footage from M at the VMAs, and who is like he's gonna win best rap album or something, and who's up at the podium trying to give the awards? Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears. I was like, you got to be kidding me! You get out of here.
It's a script, bro.
But I liked that Necro talks about the distinguishing factor between like the horrorcore and what he does. Yeah, he was saying like horrorcore sounds more cheesy. It doesn't sound hip hop. And he says he focuses on putting that hip hop really into it, which I agree. I think as far as like underground sound of hip hop, he was one of those guys that were in the forefront of that. Yeah, funny enough to say. But like I mess with a lot of his stuff on this album that I kind of forgot were on this album, such as like the Violence of Violence, the Light My Fire, where he goes in so graphic. I was telling Mark, I don't even know how I'm going to read. Like I can't even read any of these lyrics. I'm going to be like, the
flesh, the bones.
I told him I was like, we're gonna have to read the lyrics for this. We'll absorb all the sin
for the squeamish.
Absorb all the
sin. But you're the one that picked the fucking album. Can't even read the lyrics.
You
can't read them.
So just a quick PSA, a few PSAs that we're gonna have to get off here. We don't condone any of the things that Necro says in these lyrics. Yeah, we're here to express the artistry. To condone any of this isn't. Even to a certain extent, Necro himself doesn't condone it. Right. But it's just the artistry that we're doing this. We're separating the art from the artist at this point here, and we don't condone any of that.
We're reading words. We're not agreeing to the words we're reading. We are simply reading words.
It's unfortunate we have to actually have this kind of a PSA for that, but it's the place and times. The place and times. True. Also, the last point I wanted to bring up with me about Necro that I like was actually able to bring together was. He actually has a successful alienation from hip hop but to where he's still around the hip hop circles, because he actually did a recent album about a decade or so, a Cool G rap. So it's like he still gets the stamp of approval from the OGs, current people, but this is successful alienation to where he's actually found his genre. Yeah. In the respect of people not being alienated, but a little bit of the lack of respect, but having fans in their own lane, I look at the Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah,
those gentlemen are successful in their own right. They've hit mainstream success, but they are alienated, and it's kind of like, hey, you're with ICP, you're cool with ICP, like, yeah, I am, and it's like, great, congratulations,
super
man,
niche.
Congrats, man, and then they go to the gathering, do their thing, and all that.
Yeah.
Juggalo paint on
with Necro. It's like, hey, yo, like you mess with Necro? Like, yeah, dog, he's hard, man. Like, oh, cool. What else do you like? I like Kane, Jizza, all that. Like, it's still it's successful alienation.
Yeah.
And that's what I really love about Necro, is that he capitalized on it.
If he wasn't technical, I don't think a lot of people would listen to it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think the technicality is what
Has a
hip
lot
hop
to do
heads
with
fuck with Necro for, because he's technical. He got the skills. Yep. So it's like he's a dope artist, but he just decided to make horror movies.
Right.
Yeah. His albums are horror movies, and he makes horror. That's it. Yeah. And you know, the graphic nature is the environment of horror, and that shit is fire. It's just fire.
So he's just rapping horror joints with like how they used to do horror joints in the 80s with practical effects, like
Yeah.
Oh man, he's like the
I'm sorry. Can I bring it back? You said it. What other rappers? Man, Tyler the Creator's earlier projects, the first two projects. Okay. Tyler the Creator, first Earl project, a lot of horrorcore, fucking just dark. Odd Future's initial run was like punk rock rap combo, so all their shit was just fucking just abrasive and dark, but it was so technically sound that it was worth it. And the guys were so young, we were willing to listen to them. So they would say fucked up, really dark things, especially Tyler. And it just worked, right? So, yeah, if I wanted to bring any newer school cats, man, they definitely got that pocket.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that the time that he was dropping Gory Days and even the album before this, and during those times was a time I feel like us as young aspiring MCs felt that there was levels to being a hip hop head. And you had the artists that were in the mainstream limelight, such as the shiny suits, as they call it, like P. Diddy and everybody and on MTV and all that. But then you had the underground scene, right? But then even within the underground scene, you had levels where, how hip hop are you? And there was levels to it like hardcore, So I found that listening to Necro means like you're a hardcore hip hop head. Like that's how hardcore you are. Yeah. And him, Jedi Mind Tricks, those kind of guys gave me that feeling like, okay, you're more hardcore. And when you take it to Necro, like you're super hardcore. And I think that's something that worked to Necro's advantage, where he gained that audience because those people who were fans of him were considered like hardcore hip hop heads. Like that's I think something that might have worked for him also. Mm-hmm. So that's another aspect to it. Talking about his album cover, it's pretty straightforward. It's
psychopathic white boy.
Yeah, nothing really crazy.
He's outside. He's gonna kill.
In comparison to the like the gentleman that Andre was mentioning, as far as the close comparison, those gentlemen like Tyler and Earl Sweatshirt, you could put a Starbucks apron on and be like, oh yeah, it's a barista. Yeah, you can't do that with Necro.
Yeah, you can't.
Like
you can't. You can't. No. You see him and he kills at night. Yeah. He's got another thing going on.
He's definitely an early villain of hip hop. I would say that. Like I can see him as
he's an early villain, but it's also just a natural image of a psychopath. And I think that's kind of I don't know why he's so proud. Man. He's so proud to be crazy, So, there is a
little Jewish kid from Queens looking all crazy.
Some Alfred Hitchcock in there somewhere, there's some genius on it.
What's crazy that you say that is that he was also this director, like a film director, which is like, what are you doing? Like he's directed films.
Directed that music video, I Need Drugs.
Yeah. But think about this. to be a director, I mean, you have to have an ability to describe and to interpret a visual. So when you listen to his music, he definitely has the ability to describe a visual, right? He can tell you he cut you in half and what blade he used and how jagged the blade was and how long it took to kill you and how long it took for you to bury the body. He just goes on and on and on, right? But he's very, very detailed in his imagery, man. We have to give. It's so sad. It's like really giving a serial killer like props. It's kind of like giving some love.
The lyrical storyboard.
Right.
I liked a point that he made because obviously he gets clowned on for like how gory he gets.
It's just graphic.
Yeah, very graphic, and he gets questioned all the time about this, and because they say, well, you're talking about like murder and doing all this stuff, but you're not. They're asking him, but you don't really do that, right? And he has to kind of like play this answer because he doesn't want to just say like he's a fake or anything. So, but he answers it by saying like, well, think about it realistically. You don't think this is happening to somebody right now on the other side of the world? You don't think that stuff like this really goes down in the streets maybe? Like people's heads get blasted off and there's blood, guts everywhere on the floor. Like people don't want to talk about it, sure, but just because I am, don't make me out to be like, like I'm trying to like promote this or anything. I'm just saying what it is.
It's like the hidden side of reality that we don't acknowledge.
Yeah,
I believe he talked about that in an interview with some lady. It was some Asian chick or something, or some white lady, and he completely disturbed her. She was by the end of the interview, she was like, "Oh my God, I want to leave." So, he was just initially expressing to her, "It's beautiful to me. Y'all think death is like horrifying. Death is beautiful over here.
It's made me money.
It's all it made me millions. There's profit in it.
That's the thing about
the amount of my victims."
That's the thing about Necro too, is he's a freaking empire in himself. Like he's a business. Like he's talking about
and
this.
He's independent too.
Yeah.
And has all his masters.
He says he has like already, and he already knows he has like 10 streams of income coming in. Like this dude is smart. This dude got it figured out, which is crazy.
He's like Eli Roth of rap. The Eli Roth of rap is pretty much like his vibe. It's just horror movie director, cool guy, but really disturbing.
Yeah.
Really disturbing. You're like uneasy because
even when Eli Roth like stares at you, it's
because if you don't know who Eli Roth is, he made Hostel. If you've never seen Hostel, don't watch Hostel ever. Don't even get involved.
Rob Zombie, can
Rob
we
Zombie? Rob Zombie's a great example too. Rob Zombie gets there, but Eli Roth is very very detailed with the anatomy. He's just he loves gruesome.
And I also like how he said like he's not trying to promote these things. He's really just showcasing
the other side.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is,
So
and
then
important.
to be from New York, it's like I feel like if he wasn't from New York, it would make him look even more disturbing.
Oh, dog! If he was from the Midwest, I'd
If
be
he was
done. Way over it.
Wisconsin. He's from Wisconsin. He looks like a murderer. But no, because he's from New York, it just makes the image of the harrowing dark streets of New York more vivid. Right. So it's like the shit that you would hear in another rap song is like Necro hangs with those guys, So Necro feels organic and authentic because his roots, bro. He looks real, and especially without. I would say the internet breaks the illusion on a lot of this art, right? And with Necro, we didn't have the internet to break the illusion yet. We really thought that motherfucker was doing it in some aspects. And in other times, we just look at him and go, you really do indulge in this shit. Like, you love death. And then for young kids like us, we're just laughing, we think it's funny. But the reality is, this guy knows what he's doing. He knows it. It's like because we're gonna get into it. Because wait, what we got for our three?
So the first one, Bury You with Satan. Andre laughs every time.
No, because it's just like you gotta take it serious, man. Take this shit serious, son. Don't be laughing at me, man.
The second one we got is
Dead Body Disposal.
Dead body disposal, and then the
12 King Pimp Commandments.
12 King Pimp Commandments.
Yeah, man. That shit's funny, man.
These 3 tracks are the ones we're going to be discussing today. Album though, if you're, I'm going to say this:
16 tracks.
If you're okay, so if you're not really into this hardcore stuff, okay, I get it. That's fine. But I'm going to say if you're a hip hop head, just give it at least one listen through, at least one, because the dude's skill is undeniable. Yeah. Undeniable skill, undeniable production. Okay, so if you love hip hop, give it one good solid listen. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
No pressure. Otherwise, if you don't listen, you ain't valid.
You ain't valid. And we'll fucking kill you, man.
Well,
We listen. Well, Mario will kill you.
10 streams of income run like blood.
10 blood streams of income.
Blood streams of income.
Yeah, seriously.
So, all right. So,
yeah,
first one we
first
got
one.
Barry was saying.
So in this intro,
the beat though. Let's get to the beat. Wait, the beat though.
within 10 seconds, you
You
know.
Yeah.
So
That beat is dope.
it's the two part. I like this how this is like the it's like how the Prestige work. First you get the presentation of the trick and then you get them pulling it off.
Yeah.
The trick is the first thing is a presentation of it, the proposal, right? And the proposal. You hear this dope beat.
Oh yeah.
Then the reveal is that like wait, who produces? That's the next thing you want to ask.
Exactly.
Necro produces
Necro
beat.
made it. And it don't even look like that motherfucker make
Dog,
beats, man.
no.
It when you look at that picture, man, you look
Dude.
at him and go, man, that boy didn't make
Production
beats,
credits,
man.
executive producing credits, like he's just force feeding himself into royalties with this. And
Where you get that swing from, bro? You come on, man. That shit got groove.
Barry,
got
you were
some-
I
thinking.
love. There was an interview, not an interview actually. This was just a live stream video he did, and people were asking him in the chat like, "Hey, are you gonna? Like how often do you make beats?" He goes, "I'm making them later today." This dude on the regular is doing.
I'm making them
beats,
right
dude.
now. You're in my beat.
Seriously.
You're inside my beat.
I just sampled that question.
And I don't know how this dude got so good at making beats.
You do
Like even to this day, this dude's production has evolved as well.
it. Murders people,
But like
man.
I don't know just what point in time did this dude just get ill with it? So
He killed enough people. You
Yeah.
get an achievement after what,
started
50
sucking up
kills?
the souls or
Yeah,
something?
no, after 50 kills, you get
Like
Shang Tsung abilities.
Shang
After you
Tsung.
get your Shang Tsung ability, you get 100 kills. Then you get the double axe ability, like Gauntlet Legends, right? Then once you get the double axe ability, then
Oh man.
get to
I love how
level
you threw that in there
35.
real quick.
Once you get to level
Yeah.
35,
And guys, we played Gauntlet Legends. I played it for the first time with these two, and that is like Dungeons and Dragons in a video game.
it don't make sense, bro.
64.
No, for real, it's one of them games we're sitting here playing. It's just like, what the fuck are we really doing, yo?
we didn't want to get so serious with it, but then within 4 hours, I was like, I literally uttered this sentence. I was like, okay, guys, look check this out. We'll go to this level, get the scimitar. After we get the scimitar,
We get the
we'll
ice axe.
We'll get some experience at the first level, and then at that point, we could slay the dragon.
Yeah, and then once we look 3 tries, once we slay the dragon,
And these guys were all down after I said all that.
We figured out a system to like milk in order to build up our experience, our XP.
we had to farm
Yeah,
real quick.
yeah, and we were at that unfortunate expense because we actually had to start for a clean slate after
Yeah,
the
we
second batches of levels.
Shout
Yeah,
out the
man.
game. I
Shout
hit
out to
quit.
God.
Shout out
Legends,
to
man.
Gauntlet Legends. If anybody plays Gauntlet Legends,
All
hit,
the
hit
people
us
at
up.
Midway who made that game.
Hit us up. Let us know if y'all even made it past
Yeah.
the
Send
first
us the
fucking
game.
world.
Send
Send
us
us the
the
game.
game.
Send us some money. Yo, send us some money, man. Send us presents, man.
Send me $1 million check.
Send me a picture, man.
The dude,
From
the,
blank check.
Send me a blank check. Send me
Yeah.
a blank check, man.
send me blank check the movie. he's and when he starts off within 8 bars, you understand what level.
What we
this
about to
guy's
get
at.
into, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm getting outrageous on you, pulling raises on you, blazing on you, 12 gauges on you. Amazing the way I put your veins on you. I'll warn you.
I'll bring euthanasia upon you on some shocking Asia shit.
Okay. So let's
Split
pause.
your face and spit on your corpse. You're gonna.
Okay, let's pause here.
You're gonna.
First of all, just from your perspective, Andre, style wise,
Getting
do you see?
outrageous on you, pulling razors on you, blazing on you. That's a 4-syllable swing, right? 4-syllable rhyme. And he does that shit like it's nothing, right? Back in the day, niggas was swinging 2-syllable rhymes, 1-syllable rhymes. Around this period, he's throwing 4s already. He's good, man. And if my concept is this, if you average like 3 to 4-syllable rhymes, you're a good rapper. You know what you're doing. If you're averaging like 6 to 8 syllables, you're trying to beat Lupe Fiasco and Eminem.
what do you think about like? Because I'm noticing his style. He on the end of his bars, it's sometimes he reuses the U. So like something on you, something on you.
Yeah, but it'll be like a 4-syllable swing. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4. When I do the 1, 2, 3, 4,
Right, so
get my
he's
knife
still-
in 1, 2, 3, 4.
yeah, he's
Get your
still
bitch in 1, 2,
rhyming
3,
the
4.
part, yeah.
Right.
And even listening to that, the lyrical skill's still present, even with just using you at the end, because there's either two ways.
That's the Cassidy.
Yeah.
The Cassidy. So the Cassidy is AM to the PM, still move word to. He'll use the same CM at the end of the bar, so I'll spray him when I see him. I'll lay him when I see him. Hop out that Bronco and OJ him when I see him. So it makes the whole scheme sound like it's longer, right? OJ him when I see him. That's a 6-syllable sound. So it sounds like Cassidy's rhyming 6 syllables. He's not. He's rhyming like 2 or 3. But the flow sounds like 6.
And then
that's how dope it sounds.
And then the audience is able to discern, like, oh wow, like this. They filter through it and understand that, hey, look, even though he's using you, it's still worth a listen. It's still, it's still amazing to hear.
Right. Yeah,
it's like the use are an afterthought.
Like slaying on you, that's 4 syllables, right? Slaying on you, right? And then after I rape your dead body, I'm laying on you, right? That's 4 syllables, right? That's how he does it. He swings it. So the on you is 2 syllables that you don't need, but he's going to use the same ones. And then the other 2 syllables in the front is what he plays with. So he's nice, man. He knows what he's doing with the schemes, brother. He knows, man. That's why like his sound is inspiring because of that.
And we talk about like how details he gets. Like look at it from.
I'm outrageous on you.
He's going all angles on you, basically. Like,
but he's
on you, outrageous
12,
on you,
12 gauges on you. He got the gun on you.
12 gauges on you, amazing on you, like pop the veins on you. Like,
I pull your veins on you.
Yeah. So
I'll warn you. I'll bring euthanasia upon you on some shocking Asia shit. Split your face and spit on your corpse. You're a goner. Rap, stab, flesh jugs quick and grab your neck. Bludgeon you bloody, you buddy, you're stupid.
So I want to mention really quick.
Don't clown me for the flow. You know it's hard to read lyrics. Y'all know it's hard to read lyrics.
So the Shocking Asia, that's a documentary that was made in the 70s with regards to in Asia, all the taboo rituals that would be done that were very shocking. So you could see already like the type of stuff he's into and the intelligence.
Yeah.
And it's intermixed in here, so it's like
put your face and spit on your corpse. You were gonna rap, stab, flesh, juxt quick and juxt, right? Come on, this is intelligent murder talk. Yeah. It's Michael Myers rapping this
like
bitch. It's Michael Myers rap. If Michael Myers was talking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what he'd be spitting.
But the jux and slang would be the actual the event of the crime, the actual crime itself.
Right. So like flesh jugs quick. Yeah. But I just thought his vocabulary is more advanced than some average psychopath murder, right? Bludgeon you bloody, you buddy, you're stupid. What's after death? You must be after getting half your body cut in half. And after the aftermath of the bloodbath, I have your laughter. You stupid fucks catch your crew cuts. A chainsaw take the top off of your brain off. Take the top of your brain.
Yeah.
We fucking these lyrics up, but I love it.
It's like
stabbing the 2 nuts of a Ku Klux with scalpels. My rap will leave you shackled. My rap is like crack inside of a capsule.
Yeah.
I love this shit, man.
And even with at this point right here, you get a lot of description. Like if you slow this section down, you end up hearing your main point. Oh no, I'll shove an axe in you at your axle.
Right.
Your main point, your midsection where your ribs are flexing, infested with injections, you can't get rid of the infection.
Right, because you get infections in your gut. so he knows, because he has a concept of biology too. He knows biology. He knows the body that well.
But even understanding that our midpoint right here is the axle because our actual 2 legs are sides by the hips at our midsection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
he kind of reminds me of a cannibal a little bit as far as his knowledge, into the body. Like
a cannabis cannibal. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. It's cannabis. But yeah, what's the next? What you got?
We left off with infested
with the infection. Kid, you're destined for the death. Dead walking flesh. It's awkward walking through the streets dressed. Being a corpse is next.
See, I love this.
Okay. So he said it's awkward walking through the streets dressed, right? So he's like, it's awkward to see you alive. Right. I want you dead so bad. It's awkward to see you alive.
Such a disturbing line though, because it's the average daily thing that people do. You walk around, you're dressed. It's the
just
average
being alive
normal thing. But the twisted
just being
mind
alive.
that you're right now entering, the way he sees it as, well, you're just next in line to die.
Yeah, you're just next. You're just a corpse to me, right?
Everyone's
a corpse to necro.
Just a walking corpse.
Everyone's a corpse to necro, man.
And then the best lyric I've ever heard. Like when I heard this for the first time as a kid, I rewound it probably a couple times. This whole track as a whole, but it says it's. Make a mistake, a blade will take your life away, leave you decayed inside a lake and break your neck down to the spinal blade. Like that is, I've known that verbatim. Just like I was just like, what the heck? And he says it so fast. He's like, make a mistake, a blade to take your life away, leave you decayed inside a lake. Yeah, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, he is very technical.
He's
blade will take your life away, leave you decayed inside a lake. God damn.
You kind of wish this was in a different direction, but then you're like, you come back and you're like, wow, like give me more.
Blade will take your life away, decayed inside a lake, and break your neck and down. Damn, spinal. I know spinal blade inside a lake and life away match, but I think there's more syllables.
Even decayed.
Yeah. There's more syllables in the front. So he's got so many rhymes going on. This shit is fucking crazy.
I have glimpses, and I'm seeing little bits and pieces of benefit, and also some a big pun a little bit.
There's some pun in there. There's some pun in there. You definitely hear pun in his flavor too. Definitely. So yeah, make a mistake, blade to take your life away, leave you decayed inside a lake and break your neck down to the spinal blade. The gore shit, I kick your sick cause I'm bitter, kid. I'll stick and Vic your bitch, rip you to pieces, pick you out a ditch, go devour dick, you coward, catch 1,000 hits around your skull, you won't get yourself nowhere biting your shit. It's the way he talks, man. Wait, okay, so let's talk about that way he hangs on the syllables, right? Yeah, the way that he hangs on the syllables.
That's that swag of
his swag though, right? This awkward murderer swag.
It's like a pendulum.
Yeah,
side to side.
Awkward murderer swag is like
methodical.
Could you kind of do an impression? You kind of have an impression down of
the when he goes. Well, yeah, even with make a mistake, a blade to take your life away, leave you decayed inside a lake and break your neck down to the spinal blade. The goal kick, I shit is sick because I'm a bitter kid.
Exactly. You get the you know, you're welcome, everybody. Mark has that down so well, dude. And this is the thing. Every time we're just chilling, randomly Mark will bust out that impression.
He'll just out of nowhere, he'll just be necro for no reason. He'll be a faggot in fragments. Out of nowhere. I'll just break his silence. Break his silence.
And then at that point, we decide like who tries to get more gory.
Who did it, kid? You did it. Kicking it like you bit it. You never lived it. Kicking his head till it split it. All right, that's pun. When you hear it on the song, it sounds just like pun.
Yeah.
Open in liquid, soaking a hemoglobin ocean. You're a victim. You're no one. See him. I see him scoping. I choke him. So yeah, we would laugh. Me and Mark back in the day would just be randomly saying hemoglobin ocean.
Yeah.
You'll be left in the hemoglobin ocean. Who the fuck you talking to? I'll put you in the hemoglobin ocean, dog.
Hemoglobin ocean.
Hemoglobin, just blood. An ocean of hemoglobin. So it's blood, It's just it's just a blood ocean.
Even with him,
you don't know what a blood ocean is? You're not familiar with blood oceans?
You're no one. I see a scorpion. I choke him. There is nobody more darker than hip hop. This is the king of death rap.
He has in this song, he has his hand out with the ring, and you're just like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Just kissing it.
Like, picture, the Avengers of rap, and there's that death character. That's Necro in hip hop,
He definitely is. He's like...
Even with the simple chorus, too, just bury you with Satan.
Bury you with Satan.
Bury you with Satan.
Death is in your future.
Play it for your churches.
It's
some deep shit, man. It's a heavy song, man.
You're in for it. My sins are horrid. Explore it, because death is torrid. You'll be dead for it. Endure it.
That's a sick.
Morbid, cold like Nordic. The hypochloric, pour it onto your arm. It's awesome. Wait, if you put hydrochloric acid, right?
Yes.
That's that. Hydrochloric is the shit that freezes your arm, right?
No, that you're thinking of. What was that T1000 bullshit?
Shut up, power level.
I think what was it? Hydrogen?
Hydrochloric acid. Right?
Well, that's what I thought.
We're talking about hydrochloric acid, but when he describes it, it's cold. He's pouring cold hydrochloric acid.
That freezes your shit. It freezes so hard.
Nordic
it burns.
Nordic is the North, like
Nordic, nigga, cold like Nordic. The Nordic period, like God of War, basically.
Right.
The new God of War, they're in the Nordic period. Everything's fucking frozen.
But look at just how joyous he is.
So morbid, cold.
Onto your arm, it's awesome.
Watch it melt, the skin right off. Like, he loves it.
Yeah.
He loves to watch that kind of shit. Right to the bone, forfeit, I offer you morphine and a chance to escape a coffin into my auction. So he's like trying to give you opportunity to run away. But at this point, it's just a saw game. You're just he's a rapping saw game, bro. Yeah. He's a rapping saw. But look, I just want to go on the patterns though, right? Because a lot of cats are like, what makes him technical, right? He's going the 2-syllable swing crazy, right? For it, horrid, plorit, torrid,
that whole scheme right there.
Dorit, morbid, Nordic, chloric, porit.
That's a high level scheme as far as the rhyme selection, the that is elite, right?
Torrid is. I mean, he matched Torrid with Horrid. I'm good, man.
Yeah.
That's solid right there.
Right.
That's homage to the original rhymers, bro.
And you could tell that there's
Doom
thought.
rhyme.
Like it wasn't a lazy rhyme. You could
Nah,
tell there was
Doom would do
thought
Horrid
into
and
it.
Torrid.
Yeah.
When I say perfects, like Doom only does perfects. Yeah. So Doom would only do Horrid and Torrid. So he wouldn't do for it. He wouldn't do Plorid. For it, Doom wouldn't do those.
Right.
He would match Horrid and Torrid. That's how hard Doom raps.
Yeah.
That nigga will not do anything outside of the perfect match. But yeah, so anyway.
Chance to escape my coffin, enter my auction, become a slave. I got nuns depraved.
Nuns depraved.
Under my cave, I got 100 ways to murder all you gays.
All of you gays.
Just so
just gays.
so out there.
Just gays.
I'm ambitious for leaving you in stitches. I won't give up hope. Seeing you hang from a rope, achieve my goal.
He didn't even need that. He was like, no, I don't want this to rhyme. I just want you to know that, like, I'll do this and I'll achieve the goal.
my goal.
Achieve my goal.
Let the meat cleaver unfold. Travel the great distance, and you still ain't sadistic. Wait for assistance. Your hate, your own existence.
You need to wait for assistance to be sadistic because you're not sadistic enough for Necro. Necro has to make you sadistic with torture. So he has to torture
You'll hate your own existence.
Right.
Persistence overcome resistance. When I persist to bat my face in your face from instance. From
man.
instinct, yeah.
from instinct. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So existence, persistence, resistance from instinct.
When I
Nice.
persist to bash my face in your face, when my fist in your face from instinct.
Nice.
Bury you with Satan.
It's just so unique and different, man.
It's nice, man. It's funny because we're talking about horrid things, but the tech is there, bro.
The
tech is like remarkable. The tech is so remarkable. We're like overlooking murder to talk about the tech. We're completely skating over the death.
And it's so extreme too. It's not just like your regular scary movie. We're talking about like Saw,
But
levels,
it's,
like,
remember,
like Torment and like House of 1,000 Corpses level. Like that's how dark we're getting.
right? But remember, as the initial door opening, which is the first song of the album, we're already being murdered.
Yeah,
We haven't had a chance to even accept, like, we've started to accept the album has begun because he's already killing you. He's already slashed you with razors by the second bar.
Instead of the parental advisory explicit content label, I wanted the Red Cross logo, the American Red Cross logo to be on it instead. That would have been the perfect marriage. Like, hey, well, I talk about blood a lot.
No,
And on the back of the album is just all the hospitals that are like
just like
affiliated.
just a little Gideon Bible in the corner.
Yeah. Man, a voucher for hospital services.
An ER voucher. There you go. Free ER voucher.
Now, with us describing the way, with us describing Necro's lyricism, we can pile in and like laugh as we read all this stuff, but we've been listening to him for quite a long time.
Yeah, man.
But if you actually listen in on the serious tip and you're able, like us, are able to like extrapolate all the technical skills behind him, there's actually you get a
degree of artistry.
You do, and then when you hear him, you're like, wow. Like actually understanding what he was doing this, and then actually listening to him for the first time, then you're just like, wow, like, yeah, hopefully it takes someone to explain it a little bit beforehand to have it all make sense. But even hearing it for the first time, you'll get taken aback, but you're like, damn, this one can spit.
Yeah.
Like even but it has to be a hip hop head. It can't, like, for anyone from the outside looking in, you're like, turn that crap off.
Yeah, no, okay, there we go. Hip hop head. Bam.
Yeah.
Hip hop head knows they're about to watch a cinematic event. It's a movie, right? So we're going to watch it kind of in a cinematic perspective.
Right.
We're separated from the idea of what's going on, and we're viewing it objectively and enjoying it, right?
Yeah.
So when you listen to Necro objectively, you're watching a film, and it's as graphic and violent as a Tarantino film.
Wow.
When you see something like Django Unchained, we get a high degree of violence in two different ways. Cartoony violence, blood splattering in huge amounts, and very seriously depicted violence, slaves being beaten, whipped. The blood is like subdued. Everything's minimal. So Quentin Tarantino gave you both sides of the violence. Necro gives you every angle of violence available. That's all you're going to get is just violence from all angles.
Yeah. And it's that director's eye too, because he gives you those specific imageries where you like.
He's telling you.
It in a very
I never thought of flesh.
Tarantino way.
When I initially heard Necro the first time, right? He was saying, like, he's talking about flesh, right? Like what he does with the flesh. I'm like, I have never even considered what happens. No, for real. As a writer, as a like, you know, when you're a writer and you're a rapper, we have our own perspective, right? So all of us kind of rap like, oh, you know, I'm from the Avenue, I'm rapping, dude, I'm cool. Yeah, you know, all that shit. But when you think of Necro's perspective, he's looking like a director. He's not doing what we're doing. He's doing something on another level. Yeah. And if you want to be creative with Necro, we can say that Necro is in fact the character, right? He's the Norman Bates of the Psycho movie we're watching. Because we know Necro in life is, of course, affiliated with what he, you know, this death stuff. Yeah. But his character does far more damage in the music than we're seeing.
Yeah, because you talk to Necro in person, just based off of his live streams and interviews. He's talking just like us.
He's an artist.
Guys,
he's a fucking artist.
Yeah.
That's all. He's a fucking artist. And this artist just happens to paint depictions of murder and death. He's a Picasso, but his Picasso paintings are a woman beheaded. And a guy's holding the head, right?
It's like watching Anthony Hopkins in
Hannibal
and Silence of the
Silence
Lambs.
of the Lambs, right?
Yeah.
You don't,
and Red Dragon, all the whole series.
Yeah.
Good explanation. We're going on to the second choice of our songs, which is Dead Body
Disposal.
Bury You with Jesus. Bury You with Jesus, the sequel song.
I do want to say that it is cool too, just to mention, because for those who don't know Necro, man, he's closely tied to the early
the
hip hop albums and everything like that, to the Vatican. Tied to the Pope.
He did an album with Pope Francis.
But what I was going to say is that he has deep respect for the hip hop pioneers before him, which is another cool factor, because this guy actually does respect the legends of hip hop. Yes, big fan of Tribe Called Quest, Cool G Rap, who he ends up doing the collaboration with on the Godfathers, Nas, like anybody who you would think of would be your hip hop legends in the 90s. Necro was a big fan of those guys. Yeah. So that's also cool too, is that he understands hip hop in that way, where he's actually a fan of hip hop, which is another cool aspect. He said that one of the things that he found was inspiring or shocking is Nas. In a couple of lines, Nas said things that were very shocking to Necro,
yeah.
and Necro kind of felt like inspired from it in a way. Mm-hmm. So Nas says something about went to hell for snuffing Jesus,
yeah.
And he was just like so shocked that Nas, being this big figure, would say something like that, because that's basically kind of what he does, but it's just in one line, But he goes that far, Necro goes that far in his work on average, but he was just kind of like blown away when Nas says something like that. Or Nas mentioned something else with, like, because Nas was talking about voting, and he was like, who are you going to vote for, Satan or Satan? Mm-hmm. And just the fact that he said Satan, or snuff Jesus or stuff like that, it was just kind of like, whoa, that's kind of dark.
Especially the level.
Yeah.
That's a level there, like to even think that hard, to speak that hard.
Yeah, it's like, whoa.
People were very scared of words.
Crossing lines.
Guys,
like
remember back in the day, people were scared of words, man. Yeah. We couldn't say cunt. We couldn't say dyke. I'm saying all the offensive words right now. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm just saying. We couldn't say niggers. We couldn't say pillow. There were just so many words. But the idea is just, the controversial angle, right? Controversy, because I felt like rap in one angle wanted to be marketable, and then in another angle wanted to be as rebellious as punk, right? Which is a complete fight against this thing that exists. Right. So to have them both, that's what it is. Necro feels like a very, I don't want to call him a system, but Necro is a system. He figured it out. He figured his shit out. Tech Nine did the same thing. Tech Nine was kind of like just loose formed and just rapping and busting, like killing everybody in his path. And then out of nowhere, he became a system. And when I say that, when a rapper becomes a system, it's like once they figure out what they are and they figure out their brand, they don't move anywhere else because they know what they are. They don't have to deviate anymore. So Tech Nine and Necro have a similar idea. Tech Nine didn't go Christian ever, right? You haven't seen him go super Christian. Necro hasn't gone bringing people back to life. Resurrections.
You're right.
Resurrection music.
Usually artists will have some sort of arc.
Yeah. And Necro's arc is not, it's like more death.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's just
different degrees of
different
death.
levels of death. Because, like, for example, like
It's like-
Kanye kind of has an arc.
He
where
has an
started
arc.
off, like,
Tyler
kinda-
has an arc. Earl has an arc.
Yeah, so many artists have an
So
arc,
many arcs.
to be honest. But
Madonna has an arc.
it's interesting that Necro didn't do this arc. He just stayed in the death realm, but just different, like,
Different
arcs in death.
degrees.
Yeah.
So, okay, so all right, Kung Fu mode, right? So Necro's Kung Fu style is completely death, right? He
Right.
calls it death style, right? And he's the only practitioner of death style. There's like very minimal people that practice death style simply because people are doing Jeet Kune Do,
Yeah.
you fucking drunken master, regular shit,
Yeah.
things that make sense. And he's the death style. It's literally called death, and nobody's doing it but him and like 5 other guys in the nation. And what happens is, like you said, he gets a legendary status automatically because he's in this niche that doesn't really blossom.
Yeah.
I'm in a bad mood, right? I'm not gonna listen to Necro to feel better, bro. I'm in a bad fucking mood. I'm gonna listen to Taylor Swift, son.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to Taylor Swift, son, on purpose, man, to feel better.
Truth. You know what's also cool is that he's been throughout the years keeping in touch with his fans, keeping in communication. Like, this dude's built his fan following
He's an
from
artist.
scratch and has taken the hits all the way. He wanted to be big. He wanted to be Eminem status. It didn't happen for him.
Don't say it like
But I mean, like, as far as like Eminem status, you know what I mean?
I got you.
He's not Eminem. And a lot of people aren't Eminem. A lot of people aren't going to ever
Necro's
reach
production.
Eminem.
Necro's production is going to raise him in legendary status.
yes.
His production alone raises him higher than most because it's just that producer rapper combos. Like,
Right.
we kind of
He's
didn't
a freaking
accept him.
producer at the end of all this.
Producer
He's
rapper combos are deadly, bro. So and this is one thing I want to throw out to y'all. I mean, as a producer, we cultivate your environment.
Yeah.
Right. You're the director of the film, and you need an environment. You're doing a Game of Thrones type of work, then I need to make sure that there are beautiful trees and a beautiful sun in the background and there's birds in the sky, right? I can't put you in a booming city, right? Because if I put you in a city, it wouldn't match Game of Thrones' aesthetic.
Right.
Necro, as a producer, knows his aesthetic already before he even gets started on the rap.
Yeah. He's like a actor, director, and producer. Like, he's like
on his
all
own
three.
shit, man.
Yeah.
It's very Louis C.K. is a good example. He's kind of like Louis C.K., right? Louis C.K. If y'all sleeping on Louis C.K. got the best rapper's pin next to Dave Chappelle in comedy.
Really good at jokes.
He's really good at jokes.
crafting them.
He writes his jokes so well that you literally can't argue with him.
Right.
Louis C.K. wrote a nigger joke. It's literally a nigger joke. The punchline is nigger, right?
Okay.
It was so funny, you can't be mad because he wrote it so well. He wrote every part of this to the point where if you try to argue with him, he will say, well, I cleared that at the beginning of the joke. I cleared that in the middle of the joke. I never said that. I never said this. So his jokes are written so well that you can't argue with his logic. It's sound.
Yeah.
So and just like Dave, his shit is written so well that you can't argue with it. It's too sound. Everything is prepared perfectly.
That's to your point because a lot of people label Necro as misogynistic.
Yeah.
He gets all these labels, and that's the thing is where you start to split the artist from the artistry. And that's kind of part of what you're saying there is he's so good that his artistry stands alone.
It does.
It will stand the test of time just because of how technical, how much skill he has. Like, it's just going to stand. No matter how gory it is, we have to respect the attention to detail.
Okay, there we go. Perfect. The technicality emphasizes the attention to detail.
Yeah.
Because he rhymed a 4 to 5 syllable rhyme for
like all
8 bars.
crazy,
Yeah, for 8 bars. That means he thought of every fucking detail to get to this point. We're rhymers. So, sometimes we'll write a bar and then we'll have to like reorchestrate what we wrote, right? Let's say I wrote a dope like a couplet that was fire. But the couplet is only rhyming 1 syllable. And I'm an Eminem kind of rapper, right?
Right.
I need to rhyme about 6 of these syllables. All right. I'm sorry. I got to rhyme 6 or
it's in your
something.
DNA,
So,
right?
yeah. Okay. So, I'm looking at the raw. I'm like, okay, it sounds good, but it's rhyming 1 syllable. I'm going to rewrite it and make sure that the syllables match. So this is what happens. Sometimes you have to rewrite the context of how you speak so that your rhymes match. Okay. So that's Kambada, that's Daylight. A lot of these guys that rewrite shit to make sure that it rhymes better than what they're talking about. So Necro is so good with the rhyme, you know he's making sure that he murders you perfectly. Yes. Because removing the head in the flesh, right? Yeah. Head in the flesh is the rhyme. Head in the flesh.
You know what I was just thinking?
That's 4 syllables.
Eminem,
what is he gonna say next after head in the flesh, right? You'll be covered in blood in the bed with dead in a rash, or blood, covered in blood in bed with your ex or something, right? Yeah. But that's hard to do.
But yes, exactly.
To get them the 4 syllables to match and to make the image big.
That takes thought.
Yeah. So he's not aimlessly writing about murder. It's more of like I said, horror movie effort. A horror movie effort is we're not murdering these people for no reason. There's symbology to these murders. There's effort to these murders, right? A Jason movie isn't killing for no reason. A Freddy Krueger movie isn't killing for no reason. There's a reason that this happened, right? And that's where Necro fits in.
Yeah. And then ultimately, too,
he killed this woman for a reason.
Ultimately, too, is that we wouldn't even be discussing this gentleman had he not had the skill, had he not had of how amazing, you even go with, even if you go from the beat standpoint, you're like, man, this is a nice ass beat. But now you go with the lyricism too behind it. If he was just some guy talking about blood, dismembering, people and all that, it's like, well, great, that's you, but he's actually doing it to a very talented level.
Yeah.
All right, if we can bring it back to the Louis C.K. analogy, right? For a while, I was helping one of my buddies, Matt, curate his comedy show. I was the DJ for his comedy show. And he was getting the lowest of the low comedians and literally the highest of the high comedians. Like, it was the craziest. I don't know what he was doing. He was getting like Melissa Villaseñor from SNL to come out to Pomona and fucking
before
perform.
SNL.
Before SNL. But I'm saying, getting these, big names into the venue. But it would be like nobody, somebody,
Somebody's
right?
good, yeah.
So the nobodies are on the stage, right? And one of the nobodies stands out. I'll keep it quick. He's doing a Louis C.K. impression, right? And he is saying the most horrific things I've ever heard, and they're not funny. It's not funny because he's just saying horrific things. He's not writing this shit with skill. He's not writing a story that makes sense like Louis C.K. Right. He's just saying offensive things one after another and making people feel away. Yeah. I'm not going to say what he said because I don't want to look bad.
Just trying to see maybe what sticks.
Like dude, no, I'm talking about like grandmother rape. Like that kind of shit. Jeez. And he's thinking that's funny, right? But Louis C.K. could write the same thing and end with that punchline I just mentioned, and it would actually make you laugh harder than ever because he's going to spend 3 minutes of like effort to even get you to this punchline. Yeah. Compared to these amateurs that literally are like, I'm just going to go for the quickest thing I could think of. I had sex with a fat bitch and she queefed and people laugh, right? But Louis C.K. doesn't do that. Louis C.K. has a big story that lands on what I just mentioned and still makes it funny, right? So he goes, and I'll keep it short, he goes super big to make some trivial thing very funny, right? Whereas you see an amateur try to pull it off and he fails so bad, it's hard to watch. It's just you're saying horrible things back to back. So if anybody tries to duplicate Necro style, to get to my point, they're going to look like murderous people. They're going to look like murderers.
Cops are going to be at the door.
Exactly. No, I got it. I got it down, bro. I swear to God. I was like, okay. Necro shit is like, I could listen to a whole Necro album and not get sick to my stomach, right? But I can listen to a Necro impersonator and be sick to my stomach by the end of the first song. Because the Necro impersonator isn't technical. They don't know what he's doing. Right. They're just saying I killed somebody, and then I took the blood and put it in my fridge, and then I froze it. Right? He's saying crazy shit for no reason. Whereas Necro is like, there's a story, and he wrote it, and there's a fucking blueprint to what he's doing. Yeah. So that's the difference, though. That's the huge difference to his technicality, according to other rappers doing that shit.
And a true hip hop head can tell, like, when a rapper is either lazy on the rhyme or cheesy. Like, it's so easy to sniff that out, and you can tell, like. Yeah, dude is legit, like legit through organic.
So for Dead Body Disposal, I had a very serious situation where I took out like 4 or 5 of my enemies, and I didn't know what to do. So
yeah, I consulted this song.
I consulted the album, and there was a song called Dead Body Disposal.
There's a rap track for anything. These, like, by this point, So okay, so let's start with go ahead, Mark.
Let's talk about dead body disposal. My proposal.
What are you reading a bill to the Senate? You reading a bill to the Senate?
Let me.
My proposal.
Dead body proposal. Dead body.
Dead body proposal.
So my proposal: take the corpse to the bathtub and drain the blood out of the bastard. Strip yourself nude first, so you don't get blood on your new shirt. And cut the fucking corpse up like a butcher to meat, kid.
Wait, no. Wait, I gotta say this line for you. I'm sorry. And cut the fucking corpse up like a butcher to meat, kid. I'm sorry. That's how
I like that.
I said. Okay, then wait, like a butcher to meat, kid, and put the pieces inside the trash bags, or else it'll be reeking like a fag's ass with flesh covered in leeches. Bro, like
That's his style.
first of all, let me tell you guys, the only reason I know this song is because my nigga Mark. He came to me. He said, "Dre, just listen to the song." He played it. He played it. I think he played it for me and John in the car. He played this for me and John with no context. He didn't give us no warning.
Give him no warning.
No
Just
warning.
Probably not.
No warning at all. This
whole
nigga, he just comes up and he's like, yo, you got to hear this track, man. This shit is crazy. And he just plays it in his fucking dead body disposal. And look, man, we were never the same again. We never saw Mark the same again. But anyway, okay. So and put the pieces inside the trash bags or else it'll be reeking like a fag's ass with flesh covered in leeches. And throw the bags away in various trash bins of different areas. This shit's hilarious.
Hilarious.
Nobody notices. Some asshole taking out the garbage. Who else would know it's a carcass? Wait, but he's saying it straight up though. Who would know you're throwing a dead body away? Like, who would fucking know? Like, I'm telling you this shit. I know this shit. I kill so many people, bro. I know what I'm doing. I live in New York and I kill people all the time.
Even if they were focusing because the plastic bag is dark, kid, and even a nosy bitch wouldn't open it, it'd make no sense.
It make no sense. It make no sense.
Oh,
like,
God. And if you do it just before trash pickup, the body's hauled away before it decays and stinks up. It won't be noticed with literally tons of other shit, and your bag is in the middle, buried right under it, especially if you double bagged it.
Your victim will stay a faggot and fragments forever stagnant. Dead body disposal.
His chorus, listen to his chorus, guys.
Wait. Your victim will stay a faggot in fragments forever stagnant because you got the 2-syllable rhymes, but he's gonna be a faggot in fragments because he chopped into pieces, and he'll be forever stagnant because he's dead. He can't move. He's stagnant. He's dead, man. So listen, man. He's so talented. It's stupid that like he's this good at death rap, bro. It doesn't make sense.
To describe it, to be able to make it rhyme, to be able to take us through a pace.
Yeah.
It's fast paced as well. So to be able to have those
swag
all right into it and the delivery, it's amazing. The chorus,
dead body disposal.
Yeah. For those that don't know what to do after your foes are killed, shit could get messy when the blood flow spills. You never know when you might need to know skills. And dead body disposal is no frills. Dead body disposal. Are you interested in hearing my proposal? That is like the most unchorus chorus of all time. It's like a statement.
But I love it, right?
The absurdity is just what gets me, you know. Are you interested in hearing my proposal? Like, who would be interested in hearing this proposal? You know, that's what's so genius.
Like, how many enemies do I have killed already that I don't know how to dispose, man?
Bodies begin to stink within
an hour of death.
And it's warm outside, then quicker for the sour stench to leak out of the flesh. So think about your steps. You think you're killing, will be willing to consider the best. Be extra careful and grab the aerosol can of pepper spray to
coat the pieces. The smell is unbearable.
Hold the first layer of bag beautifully. That'll keep animals from tearing the bag open to get the meat.
Wait, so how many times has he failed to give us this information?
Yeah, to give us a step-by-step exactly what to do with a dead body. Like, it reminds me of Breaking Bad a little bit when they had to get rid of the dead body and all that. Like, he's going very detailed of what you need to do step by step.
Yeah.
It's so sick and twisted and dark.
It's like
comical.
It's like Michael Myers rhyming it out, though. Michael Myers is helping you out.
Unintentionally.
It's like Michael Myers in the booth.
Yeah, Michael Myers is doing some shit, bro. Like, killing it.
Michael Myers in the booth.
He's that'll keep animals from tearing open the bag to get to the meat. Squirrels, dogs and birds, officers with dogs that smell
fine shit
when they're thrown off the scent. you couldn't hang a fuck upside down in your back. Oh, you could hang a fuck upside down in your tub and slit his throat from ear to ear to remove a large amount of blood.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah.
Most of it'll gush out at its own at once, but to get that last couple of pints drained, work his arm like pumps. For dismemberment.
So you gotta squeeze the arm, like for real. Listen, he's like really think like you gotta. You have to hang somebody upside down in a tub, slit their throat, and then once they drained out, you gotta squeeze the blood. How do you know this shit, man? This shit is weird, man. Like, how do you know this shit for real, man?
For dismemberment, gentlemen, I recommend heavy-duty bone thaw that cut through gentle limbs like pendulums.
But look how skilled this dude is at rhyming that. That is crazy.
It's like your shocked reaction after hearing this, and then you hear the lyrical skill, like, damn, like you can't hate.
Dismemberment, gentlemen, I recommend heavy-duty bone saws that cut through gentle limbs and like pendulums.
Yes. And remember, a pendulum is just...
Yep.
That is crazy imagery, rhyme scheme, description. That is layered, folks.
But if you want to take your time, don't rush it.
I know, yeah, but his
okay, I won't rush it. I'll take my time.
After he just incinerated
I won't
the
rush
mic,
it. I'll take my time.
but don't rush it.
Don't rush it. Either cut each piece up like Pizza Hut pizza.
With a rusty cleaver. Cut each pizza like Pizza Hut pizza with a rusty cleaver.
Leave a piece in the freezer.
Take out the trash in a couple of days. The stench of the composition's meager.
And make sure there's no incriminating papers in the bag. Letters,
Receives anything with your name, they'll trace you. No, because remember, he just said they'll trace you at the end of the bar.
I know it's obvious, but you'll be amazed at how easy it is
to be sloppy with this. Even the mafia slips. Dead body disposal.
Dude, that's straight up out
For those that don't know what to do after the foes are
It's
killed.
straight up out of Sopranos or something. Like, this dude is kicking it.
Let's talk about death, baby.
Disintegration
of
flesh,
you'll see.
And just the sinister way he remixes
Ed hack it up,
a
you
hook
be.
like that.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, he's fucking stupid.
It's
man.
super-
Even with Light My Fire, he does that door spin off too.
Yeah,
It's like
he does that super sinister.
all the good things and the bad things and hacking up your meat. Let's talk about that.
Death.
Disintegration of flesh, you'll see.
So there's more choices to choose, kid. Bury the corpse in the ground, bury it at sea, or the pieces get distributed. We're using the ground, a shallow grave isn't allowed because the corpse will be found when the stench of it lingers out. So yeah, it's gonna stink. The body's gonna stink. Make sure it's 6 feet deep or more. Construction sites work if in for a minute. And once cement is suspended beneath the floor.
Is this the freaking devil talking to us? Like,
Using the sea has its potential sequentially. The sea destroys all evidence eventually.
why do you have this knowledge? Like, he could be under serious investigation just for having these knowledge.
He's never been arrested for anything. No murders on him. Just perfect record. Necro has a perfect record, guys. It's hilarious. No murders, no fights, nothing. Not even a fucking night in jail.
I'd seen in an interview he was asked about, like, has he murdered someone or something like that, and he goes, no.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But I'm not gonna tell you that because you'll be dead at the end of the sentence.
If you ever do, though, that'd be dumb. Why would you do it in broad daylight? Like, do it where you could get away. If you can't get away with it, you're dumb. It's just like, what? What are you doing?
You gotta do it in a way you could bury them in Central Park.
I have a song where it covers that.
That by the disposal too. For
Make
the internet age fuckers, you know what I'm saying?
For the internet age.
But make sure you tie a weight to the body to keep it from floating around and being discovered by mistake. Drop it as far ashore. Drop it off as far from shore as possible. Otherwise, it'll pop up at low tide.
Wait, why do you know this? The fuck? How long have you been? How do you?
Or be seen by some fisherman's opticals. Distributing body parts is riveting. I explained it in verse 1. Forgive me if I begin again. A wood chipper turns a corpse into chopped meat, spread it all over your grass, and
Then
water it down properly.
So just leave the dead body all over your grass. Make it
Make
manure.
Make it manure. Within a few days, the cadaver's fertilizer. Your advisor taught you ways of covering up murders wiser.
Your advisor.
The advisor.
Your advisor.
Taught him ways wiser.
Regardless of how you tried these methods, be careful with prints and rented equipment. Use cash and fake IDs.
Now, what if like somebody got caught and they're like, "Well, I listened to Necro. He told me how to."
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's easy. You could easily blame him for
Making
that.
him accomplice.
Come on, dog. We know that's gonna happen. I love how but even Necro can literally have all these songs and a black man can say I sold crack and they can go to jail for that, bro. That's like a different game, man.
I wouldn't be a black man trying to like sing his songs.
I would never rap about
That's
selling
crazy.
crack because I'm not trying to go in for the crack I've actually sold.
Yeah.
So that one's like, okay, so yeah, Dead Body Disposal was like a unifying song somehow, ironically. It's just we always jokingly put that one together, man. So there's some nostalgia for our pick, but it's just it's a good song.
And
it's a bad song, but it's a good
because
song.
this is something that we don't get like the Magic School Bus iteration of rap to a somehow hip hop level.
Yeah.
Like something that, and I'm sorry to say, but this is at its core, it's educating somebody on a topic.
Yeah, it is.
And it is still rhythmically pleasing. The delivery's there. The dismembering gentleman like pendulum rhyme swing is that one plus make a mistake of late, that one and that bury you with Satan, those are one of the best bars I've ever heard in my life.
Crazy to say that, right?
Yeah, but it's rooted in the fact of the Dead Body Disposal anyway. It's rooted in a educating rap song.
But it's like almost there we go. It's tongue in cheek then. If you want to be real about it, right? It's a tongue in cheek.
Okay, we're back. We had a little incident where I had to clear some disk space, but we're back on the ball. So, Andre, you were making a point. We were talking about it being educational, oddly, but
but a tongue-in-cheek approach to how you would make a rap song, right? It's almost a joke, right? Nobody would naturally make a song of how to dispose of a dead body. Yeah. So you have to look at Necro as a clever artist, right? Because this song otherwise wouldn't exist in any other context. I'm trying to think of some dude from fucking Queens, right? Some fucking nigga, right? A black man from Queens. I'm trying to imagine him making this song. He wouldn't make it because it's not funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like death isn't funny to black people because it's an experience we have recurring on a regular basis. Yeah. So to make a joking song about murdering somebody and get rid of the body, that's some shit that Necro had to do. So I can't picture anybody, not even Brother Lynch Hung, right? Brother Lynch Hung is the closest parallel I got. And Brother Lynch Hung is a black rapper. He's on Strange Music, I think, with Tech Nine them. So, or he used to be on Strange Music. I don't know what his condition is right now. But at the same time, Brother Lynch Hung had a similar output. It's just like very dark lyrics, but it's very articulated. Like he knows what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, Necro's game and his angle, man, it's like, Dead Body Disposal is funny. It's supposed to be funny. In my mind, I think it's supposed to be funny, man. As a writer, it's supposed to be funny. Yeah. You're supposed to laugh at this dumbass song, right? How to get rid of a dead body, right?
Yeah,
you're supposed to laugh.
You can't take it too seriously.
It's tongue in cheek, bro.
You can't take it too seriously, obviously, and that's what makes it genius in a way. To pull something like that off, you have to do it in this kind of sly way, which is that's the genius of it.
That's the genius of it, man. So yeah, it's just one of our favorite joints, man. As just youth, man, we was having a good time with this one, man. And then 12 Kingpin Commandments kind of rolled in, and we laughed at this one too. But we're not laughing at Necro because Necro's not a joke. But the idea is simple. Point. Necro is a clever bitch. Right. He's clever, man. He knows what he's doing. Right. So we're just laughing at his cleverness.
That's a great point to make. I mean, we've been joking and all this about his style and swag and all that, but all of it, like, we love and appreciate, like, his swag.
Absolutely.
His artistry.
Don't kill us, Necro, please.
Yeah, we totally are, like, we're totally here for it. Yeah. Yeah, don't come murder us, spit on our corpses. And
I want my corpse to be saliva free, man.
You were once, that's hip hop, now that's a cadaver.
What's also interesting about Necro is he has these different sides to him. So there's this death side to him, but there's also this pornographic
Oh yeah,
sex side of him,
sex side,
the sex addict side of him, which he acknowledges and says that's very much him.
Way to take accountability.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, so his name was originally supposed to be necrophilia, right?
Yeah, necrophilia.
So, okay,
Yeah, necrophilia.
Okay, so that's a combination of death and sex. Right. Not saying that he's having sex with dead people, but to say the combination of death and sex.
True.
All right, so yeah.
And then he said one of his buddies started calling him just Necro for short, and he liked that, kept that. But what's also cool that he mentioned is that Necro is the prefix to anything death. Yeah. Which is cool.
Like, so the Necronomicon.
So it could be any sort of, and as long as it's related to Necro, it's part of him, like his death.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting and cool.
Good little Google search hack. Did you mean Necro the artist for everything?
That's true. All right, so 12 King Pimp Commandments, which is a cool flip because at this time we already had Biggie come out with the 12 Crack Commandments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, rest in peace.
Was it 12 or 10? I can't remember, but came out with the Crack Commandments, and so this is a cool kind of flip on it. And yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, he adds two to it. Adds two to his commandments. The beat to this one is sick too.
Yeah,
true.
The production just couples it so nicely throughout this album. There's not one beat or track where I was just like, I'm getting tired of it, because you would think that would be the automatic since it's him on the producing side throughout the whole album, him with the same style. So I just want to mention.
Yeah, and
also another tongue in cheek. I think it's another tongue in cheek. Yeah, he's just being clever.
And you don't have to take these rules serious, but a King Pimp's been here for years representing. There's rules to the shit. I'll break down a lesson step by step like a booklet for you to sweat and try to apply to make yourself fly. Number 1, must be strong in mind and spirit. When idiots talk inferior shit, brush it off when you hear it. Never fear it. Never put a knife to a broad, because the penis is mightier than the sword. Peep the metaphor, you'll find more.
Peep the metaphor, just calling it out.
You'll find more.
And it's like this. It's like, cats invaded your crib with nickel-plated 38s, imitating Satan. You wouldn't be intimidated. Mm-hmm. You must play past the devil's trickery, prison liquors and hits of E, nicotine and chicks with VD.
Come on, man.
The lyricism.
There you go.
Joke.
Technicality kicked in.
Yeah, the lyricism is here. It's here. And throughout the album, might I say.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Number 2.
Now you read that shit. Must control 7 or 8 cunts at once. 7 or 8 cunts at once, though. A freak for each day of the week. The 8th is a lottery stunt. Must handle them with cleverness, kindness, shrewdness, intelligence, but never with an iron fist. Number 3. Motherfucker, you gonna
only F with the P. In the edited version. Sparrows don't fly with the eagles, peacocks. Can't strut with the chickens. I got to read beforehand so I don't slip.
It all summarizes to the fact of like who likes you, don't like who don't like you.
Right.
4, must withstand all criticism. Because a man whose wife is getting pimped doesn't understand her simp and jism. It's a profitable business to rationalize into cynicism that it's wrong, but it isn't. See, it's
4 syllable swings.
Good nice. God, like he makes a point, lyrically spins it,
exactly,
gives you delivery,
very complex, layered. There's multiple things.
Number 5. Never let a female be equal with you. Equal whites is a fantasy. It'll come back to normal soon. That's so evil, man. Refuse to have oral sex with your woman unless you choose. Do not accept. If you do me, I'll do you. She was put on earth to serve men. She may enjoy a cunt lick, but deep down she'll lose respect for you then. Only animals you see licking sex organs are dogs and cats. Females know during their period cunts are filthy like rats.
Okay, so let's talk really quick.
You feel like a kingpin yet? Is the kingpin kicked in?
Let's talk really quick because he goes.
Isaiah has a pen and a pad on the side right now.
He goes real graphic, right? And especially on women and just what he wants to do with women and all this stuff. And so from a woman's perspective, how are we seeing this? And from a woman's perspective, I mean,
Necro's a death pimp, so he would be like, you know how Snoop is a pimp in the bars,
right?
Necro's like a pimp in the death area, right? Because if you listen to the other songs about women on this one, there's zero respect for them. There's not going to be a respect available for them, so they ain't going to get one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's gonna kind of take that Snoop Dogg pimp approach from back in the day,
Yeah.
like the no limit Snoop pimp.
I feel like I don't know him enough to really say where.
I don't know him enough to say.
In regards to like where he's at in his thoughts towards women, because hearing this is going to make me automatically think, like Andre was saying, no respect.
Right.
You know, but at the same time, he's playing. This is like kind of like a humorous song in a way. So, do you take that seriously as far as how he feels towards women?
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'll take it seriously. I don't give a fuck. If you wrote it in a song, you mean that shit. That's how I live.
Okay.
So yeah, you got number 6 though. 6.
You'll use violence and self-defense to protect yourself, friends, family, women.
And what you possess. Possess.
But I guess in that conversation, is it kind of like a dead end? That's just what it is.
That's what he do, man.
Yeah.
What you got, number 7?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Never strike a bitch with a pipe or a knife. Only strike him to shock him back to reality's light. Toss a bottle at her. Hit her with a golf club. Break a mirror over her head, but never make her draw blood. You could start flipping, gripping her like a victim, but never start hitting. This is called a king pimp's whipping.
Number 8, since cleanliness is next to godliness, you must keep your hygiene clean regardless. A shower a day will do. Keep your physical being in the best condition possible it could be in.
You guys need number 8. Number 8's important.
Number 8's for all people
guys.
involved, especially
Shower a day will do.
especially if you go to festivals. Shit.
Or conventions. Good God. That was the Portland Retro Game Expo, man.
Oh shit!
Y'all needed a right guard booth out there, man.
You know they're using organic deodorant, bro.
That's the worst too.
Oh, I got a dream catcher under my armpits.
My
like-
deodorant is blueberries.
That's the worst. You're never stingy, greedy, drifty, or cheap. When it comes to you and your peeps, you owe yourself
The best treats. The best treats. Fucking greedy shit. Fucking greedy.
Never sweat when it leaves you knowing the story of a man's life is coming and going. They come better next time, then you better make room for the higher grade, B.
I love how you can't say the lyrics. We make
The
you
next
say.
one is always a better kind.
You're only expected to keep a woman a term of 4 years unless you're fortunate enough to get reelected. If she leaves before her term is up, she faked it because she wasn't ready for a king pimp anyway, kid. Let her fuck with the other 51 pimp types. They're all better for her. Welfare pimp, blind pimp, dumb pimp, etc. So, like,
Yeah.
you're better off not downgrading yourself for the attraction of this girl who's only in it for the low tier man.
Got it. 12. There's leaders and followers. A king pimp never follows a hollow-headed dick swallower or a trigger quipper with a wallet full of dollars. Even a scholar of Kabbalah doesn't get followed.
Look at that rhyme scheme though. Like,
It's got them twos swinging, man. He's swinging in 2 syllables, but the 2 syllable rhymes there's so many, they're so numerous that they sound like 4 syllable rhymes almost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The only one that got it like that is God Kid. Oh no, the only one that got it that solid kid is God Kid because he's brolic. Understands every topic on how a pimp rocks shit.
Follow these rules, you'll have mad D cups and A cups, bitches running around butt naked, pretty makeup. The respect these bitches will have for you will be sacred. Slut pay up. Yo, I'll be putting your head in the toilet. Wake up. Why are you so mean to the bitches, man? The bitches we
very
need them.
descriptive, very thorough with this concept.
You have a
and
mother,
12
Necro. You have a
commandments.
mommy. You can't say this shit, bruh. That shit funny.
I also believe that the time was also different as well, and being a factor in some of the things he's saying in these rounds. I haven't heard his new stuff though, so I don't know like what he's saying today. But
Still killing. Still got bodies.
I do know that he still, accepts the nickname the Sexorcist. I still know he plays with that. But I do believe that just like we were talking earlier, that these songs, you have to entertain it like you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
And there's still artistry going on here, and whether or not he's saying this, I believe that you also have to separate from what you're recording as an artist compared to what you're actually doing as a person. So, if he's doing this kind of like stuff to women, that's different from
Yeah.
you recording a song like this. There's people who recorded rap songs about killing. Doesn't make them a murderer. They haven't killed somebody for real. But, you know, there's sometimes, like Eminem said it, when he talks about killing Kim and putting her in a trunk and driving her off, he's expressing anger.
It's almost like a marriage song.
Yeah, and it's an expression. It's letting out your deepest feelings on and pouring it onto a track.
Yeah.
So I want to just say, for those who have a problem with these lyrics, you know, women in particularly, that's something to also kind of take in mind when you hear stuff like this. I'm not telling you how to believe or how to feel or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, when you have tracks that go into these taboo subjects or dark stuff like this, you keep that in mind, that it's a form of expression and doesn't exactly mean that someone's doing these things.
That's fact.
Or the people reading off the lyrics.
Right. Right.
All the people.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark, for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Or that we condone.
Imagine we had a feminist here. Like, what do you think? Like, right now, like,
Vote now.
we're trying to keep this an hour and a half podcast, you know?
Vote
Like,
now.
It's like, I have a few questions.
the cancel culture. Yeah, we saw that's hip hop, and now
Yeah,
we want
we're
to.
canceled. They were giving off 12 rules on how to be a man.
Stupid.
It's like you guys weren't even doing a song. This is literally a song.
This is just
no.
a song.
That's what you guys think. Oh no, see now we got to stop.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Yeah.
This is 12 Kingpin Commandments by Necro. But yeah, like you mentioned, this is something that you're gonna have to take with different lenses.
Yeah.
You know, we're from anyone that's listening to it, you have to understand, hey, look, this gentleman is a musician, he's a rapper. You have to take those rap skills just like that. You know, even with the more morbid type of song in Dead Body Disposal.
Yeah.
And in this instance, you have this gentleman who's telling you, hey, look, guys, this is how these 12 rules that I believe in. But like a lot of it's littered in domestic abuse and like intimidation and coercion. Yeah. It's like, no, this isn't something that Necro's going to put his stamp of approval on 100%. But like as far as the lyricism and all that, this is his album. This is where it's like, hey, look, no one told you to press play. No one told you to listen to it. Except me when I had to force these guys to listen to Dead Body Disposal. Yeah. And then you ultimately have the thing to where it's like, is the female demographic even looking for this type of music?
Yeah. But you know, it's like, again, like a lot of the female demographic, even in today's era, love the horror flicks, right? Where they're like, there's a serial killer killing women.
Yeah.
And, you know, so this was before all that too. This was before that even became trendy. This was long before that. So I just like the fact that, like, no matter what track you get or what topic like of death he's going into,
what topic
this
of death?
fool is like
What
slicing.
angle of death we perceive?
This dude is
absolutely.
He is just slicing and dicing. And there's so many other tracks on here that are my favorite that I actually like legit mess with. Like Light My Fire was the instrumental of that was something that I would always play back. The track itself is pretty graphic and pretty grotesque. But the beat was like, man, that I always used to download instrumentals. You guys know this. And this was one of the albums that a majority of my instrumentals came off of. Circle of Tyrants. That instrumental is just nuts. As a hip hop underground enthusiast, man, I love that instrumental so badly. And that has who was it? Ill Bill. Ill Bill with his crew on that. There was also
Circle of Tyrants, right?
Yeah, Circle of Tyrants. Poetry's in the Streets.
You're all dying.
Talk a little bit about that one, Andre. You said that.
I just thought it was just like a serious angle to what Necro is doing, you know? So instead of taking this kind of satirical, tongue-in-cheek approach to the style that he had, this was probably the most serious we'll see him on the album. It's the most like actual, this is how I really feel. excuse me, song on the album. I was trying not to burp, man.
I was like, man, this
I
point.
don't want to burp. Yeah, I don't want to burp on these fools, man.
Like the anticipation of this
Right.
point. Like,
Yeah, but no, it's just it's the most mature song on the entire album. It just feels like he really wanted to talk about this subject and he went in on it, and everything on this track comes together perfectly. So I give it the honorable mention because it just feels like, you know, as much as we laughed on this album, this is the one song I will listen to seriously.
yeah. Another honorable mention, Morbid. That was another single that he dropped. I loved the instrumental of that. Instrumental is sick on that one. And he goes off on that one too, which is dope. Skills being presented to you. Violence of Violence was like another top favorite I loved with Joan of Arc in the beginning. It will not be my blood. It will be yours.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that is just so ill.
This is
That
perfect.
sample
Yeah,
cut
this is
is
perfect.
so ill.
It's perfect.
And the Violence of Violence is just one of the best violin beats I've heard in hip hop, like hands down, one of the best ones. So this album, take a shot at it, Mark. How do you surmise? How do you surmise Gory Days by Necro?
When someone's introduced to it for the first time, they're going to have to, whoever's giving them this album as far as, you know, the introduction to it, I would strongly suggest them giving a preface to it. For anyone that's just getting it for the first time with no preface of anybody, with no with no introduction to anything, you guys have been warned. After you get rid of the initial shock, you're going to, as a hip hop head, and I say this with full confidence, you will appreciate Necro's skill set. He's unprecedented. A lot of MCs are glad he didn't start rapping about like tame street shit. Like all the rappers in his time were talking about the incident and then the aftermath of the incident with snitches and the judicial process.
Right.
Necro's talking about from point of the blast to the gore to then after the detective. The only time he stops rapping is when the detectives put the sheet over.
Right.
After that, he's like, I ain't rapping no more. Like my story's done. As if you get a preface, just understand there's going to be a little shock when listening to Gory Days for the first time. After that's done, you will appreciate how dope Necro is.
Yeah.
Appreciate his lyrical skill, and then you'll appreciate his beats because he got to be in some sort of top blank fit, top whatever producers. Mm-hmm. It's not more than 3 digits. I'll tell you that because he's a damn good producer.
He's a really good producer, underrated producer. What you think, Andre?
Well, Mark said more than it's basically what I wanted to say. Necro on a technical level is going to be the reason you keep listening, right? And it will also be the reason that you realize that death rap is a genre that has been designed because of what Necro has been doing. All right. So when you listen to Necro, it's just kind of one of those situations where it's like, man, I can say that your technical skill is the reason I keep listening because I'm sitting here trying to, like, you matched so many rhymes and so many angles just to talk about stabbing someone that I have to look at my artistry in a different angle, right? So when I listen to him, I'm like, okay, I'm never going to rap about stabbing someone, but I know that I want to be as detailed as Necro when I talk about being more lyrical than another rapper, right? So I might find more, you was talking about like rhymes about grabbing the mic and making other MCs die or whatever, right? And it's like I would make better rhymes in that form, in that variation because of Necro. When I listen to Necro sounds like he owns this sound. So when I listen to him, I'm like, I want to own my sound because I want you to listen to me the same way you listen to Necro. Right. I want you to hear my shit and go, man, nobody in the world can do what Dre just did because it's Dre shit. Nobody in the world can do what Necro did because it's Necro shit. You can't say I killed the bitch and then went to Gilgamesh to take a picture next, right? Because that is just graphic imagery. Whereas Necro will be like, I killed a bitch and made sure that the image sits in the Gilgamesh, right? That means that he knows what he's talking about and every piece of this puzzle is going to fit in. So that inspired me in a lot of ways. So if I can get a takeaway from his album is the depth of his writing, right? He loves his subject so much that he goes so far with the depth that you know that Necro like is an expert at death. So in my world, I want you to hear my raps like I'm an expert at what I'm talking about because Necro can do it. So rhyme pattern wise, you're going to get a lot of Eminem Cannabis, like, you know, rhyme pattern wise, but you're going to get kind of like a Quentin Tarantino-esque film out of it. So listen to it like you're watching Quentin shit and get it. Cause it's not grotesque imagery. It's a very well designed grotesque imagery. And that's what I see it as. It's not violence for no reason. It's violence with a purpose. So
yeah. For me, I feel like with Necro, you know that this dude respects the art, and you're not just getting this grotesque person who's just weird and absurd. This is a smart individual who's turned all this into a business, his art into a business, into a system that works for him. He cares about his fans. So anybody who listens, like this dude interacts and engages with his fans. They all love him for being him, and he's never strayed away from that. Brutal rhymes. That's what you're going to get here.
Brutality.
You like stuff like Mortal Kombat, Rob Zombie, anything gory or bloody, like in film or in anything, metal, whatever the sound. That's where you're coming to Necro for. Necro is this dark, twisted labyrinth that goes in very detail into just going extra into his rhyme schemes, into his details, into his concepts, into everything he does, production. This dude he has an eye, he has an ear for like all of it. So a true artist in that form. So when you hear Necro, you're not just hearing a whatever rapper. This guy is elite in what he does. You're going to an expert in this hip hop underground. Like this dude is one of those early cats between like mid 90s to mid 2000s that was just doing it on the rise. And he had the mindset to keep pushing, to keep working, which is not everybody got that. Especially when doors start closing on you, or you see an Eminem just, become what you want to be. Like this dude still continued to knock on everybody's door. And he's made his point, or he's made his mark on hip hop. This dude has made it in hip hop. He is an underground legend, a living legend.
He has a genre, bro.
Yeah, his success was inevitable.
He has a fucking genre, bro.
Whether it had been at a mainstream level or now he's being regarded, I mean, I personally, I think about him as like being the only NC-17 type of rapper.
Yeah.
While all these other street artists are PG-13 and rated R.
I like that.
You know,
that's real shit.
Exactly.
So peace to Necro, man.
Yeah, big peace and respect to Necro and what he does.
Large piece.
Before we exit this episode, a couple of things we want to mention. Andre, he is doing Lyricology 101. If you guys haven't seen his videos, go check him out on
big
YouTube.
Big breakdowns, baby.
This guy goes just as insane as Necro goes. My homie Andre goes just as detailed into breaking down the science behind these great elite lyricists that we love and enjoy hearing. So talk a little bit about it, Andre.
I appreciate it, man. I just take I take a lot of songs and I go through the rhyme schemes of the song. I go through the delivery of the song. I go to the pronunciation of the words, how hard they accent the words, the meaning of what you say, the breakdown of the wordplay.
Mind you, Andre is like the first cat that I recall even doing that.
First recorded person to even do this in history. Okay,
That's what's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like for real. It's kind of scary. Genius stole my shit. Like
I'll
Genius literally stole my shit, and they know they did.
I'll toot your horn for you, man. As far as I can remember, Andre was the first guy on YouTube doing this, breaking down, highlighting schemes.
Yeah,
and
all that
flows
shit.
and all
That's
that.
my. If you see anybody
Andre was the
highlighting
first to do
lyrics,
that.
if you see somebody highlighting lyrics in their videos, say who inspired you. They will literally say me.
Or if it's not you, it'll be someone who linked back to
Yes,
you. You know what I mean?
they will always link back to me. No ego. I promise you, no ego. But anyway, so yeah, if you guys are interested, I have a really great breakdown on Lupe Fiasco's mural that gets a lot of attention. And I have a lot of Eminem breakdowns that you guys will genuinely love. I got another Eminem breakdown coming out this actually next Friday. Next Friday. Alfred's theme is coming out next Friday for you guys. One of the fans donated and paid for a breakdown. I broke it down for him. So that's an edited video. It'll be out soon. And I'm still breaking down the fan songs. So if you guys want your song broken down on a crazy thorough level, hit me up at lyricology101mail@gmail.com. Please add the mail or you won't get to me. All right. So yeah.
Nice emphasis. And we also have Mark, who's running his Notorious Pin, which is just a super dope. If you want to support, like, you know, somebody who's really about it as far as like all this hip hop or just culture.
Yeah.
You know, Mark's always been, you guys seen it on the show. He's just a stream of consciousness with random culture and information. I always ask you, like,
Wait.
where do you get all this random information
Can
from?
I give you this? I'm the lyricologist, right? Mark's the historian. All right. And you need both. You have to have both, right? The lyricologist is not a historian. I don't have the history like that. You go to Mark for the history.
Yeah.
But if you were like, I need to understand this, give it to me. I'll interpret it and give it back to you. That's what I do.
Yeah.
But Mark, he'll be like, yeah, KRS-One rooted that line.
Yeah.
And then Rakim rooted that line. Like, he has the whole history in his head.
So put that now into this aspect
Brilliant,
of, you know, the selection of pins and all this stuff. That's really thought out by Mark on what he wants to sell. He's behind it. Otherwise he wouldn't sell it. So where can they find this? And
it's your favorite pin salesman going on 7 years of folding and unfolding the same table, folding and unfolding the same pop-up tent. Actually, I had to go through one broke. But yeah, it's been an endeavor that I've taken on, and I like pins in the beginning, and I started selling one and selling a bunch, and now I have a bunch to sell. The cool thing is when you order your batch of pins that you make, you get to keep a couple for yourself on the house. Which goes to saying I make the pins that I like. And, the purple atomic Nintendo 64 control that we released is dope. And I got a bunch that are coming down. If you guys caught my stories, I'm doing a Dreamcast controller. And then I'm actually going to be doing the MTV VMA.
Yeah, that shit is tight.
I'm actually
so you got the VMA,
MTV
bro. He got the
and
VMA. That shit
and
looks
it's
nice.
exclusive stuff too. So
Nobody in the world has these, bro.
That's
These
cool.
are like
So
one
then,
of a kind for real.
So check them out. Check out the store at thenotoriouspin.com or on Instagram at lnotoriouspin. Someone's harboring the Notorious Pin. So it's all good. Each purchase helps out the Mark Flores Needs a Tesla Foundation. So you're helping out a good cause.
And of course, we have That's Hip Hop. So find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and that's going to be by searching that's.hiphop. So it's very easy. Just find us, share us. Of course, we're on all platforms where you get podcasts. Share it with a friend. Like, if you know somebody who loves hip hop, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why you haven't shared it.
Or we'll kill you. We will murder you.
It's actually offensive.
Yeah.
We will necro your body.
Spit on your corpses. And I keep going back to that.
What is it? Tell a friend, tell a foe, tell a hoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I want to just a quick little. I'm working on this still, but I'm planning to drop an album, which I've been working on writing, and I got these two to feature.
Yeah, we on it. I'm on there.
So it's coming soon. I just wanted to kind of just throw it out there, plant the seed of it, which I'll be working on. I'm hoping, if not by the end of this year, by the beginning of next year, I should be about ready. So that's going to be something pretty different for me. It's been a while. I've been in hiatus for a long time, so it's cool to kind of get my writing juices flowing again.
Zay is nice. Don't
And you
don't
guys-
sleep on Zay. He's
and
nice.
we've been inspired, man. We love hip hop, man. We're about it.
So consider where you're getting your hip hop
Yeah.
lyric breakdowns.
Exactly.
We also do freestyles every 5th
5
episode.
episodes.
So just make sure to listen to those, and we appreciate every subscriber. The march to 300 subscribers continue.
Yeah,
So
and we'll get there. We
I
will
like
get
that.
there.
I like that.
I guarantee it.
All right, everybody, go ahead, Mark. Drop it, man.
The MCs, if you drop a mic, drop a like.
Necro,
Amen.
Gory Days.
Morbid.
It's morbid. It's torrid, and
I bait Norman.
I baited Norman to killing his mother. Oh, man. I'm going to be surprised if this video actually is going to survive.